Indian School of Business and Finance, or ISBF, was founded in 2006 with the vision to bring world-class higher education to India in the fields of economics, management, finance, accounting, and business. And today, more than a decade and a half later, it gives me some pride in saying that we have succeeded to a great extent in doing so. Not only have we partnered with global higher education giants like University of London and the London School of Economics and Political Science, or LSE, since our inception, in one of the deepest international collaborations of its kind, but ISBF has also risen to the highest echelons within this ecosystem through its consistent excellence, being recognized by LSE for several years now as one of its top 5 teaching institutions in the world. So what is this collaboration? What programs am I talking about? Let me give you a quick overview. We're talking about the University of London programs. 5 undergraduate BSc honours programs representing various combinations of the disciplines I just mentioned: pure economics, economics and finance, economics and management, business and management, and accounting and finance. Upon graduating, students of these programs receive the prestigious and globally valued University of London degree. All academic direction for these programs comes from LSE, which is ranked among the very best institutions in the world in the areas of economics, business and management, and accounting and finance. This means that LSE academics design and regulate the programs, write and update the curriculum and study materials, and also, very importantly, set and grade all summative or final assessments. Going one step further, the peerless depth of this collaboration ensures that students of these programs around the world not only pursue the same curriculum as studied by on-campus students in London, but also that there is complete parity of assessment and grading. This allows LSE to even add its name to the University of London degree awarded to graduates, which means that it carries the same weight and value as an LSE degree itself for employers and higher education institutions around the world. What this means in sum is the opportunity to receive one of the world's leading undergraduate educations in economics, management, finance, etc. here in India, from the comfort and safety of your home country, and at about 1/5 of the cost of doing so in London. And this really circles back to the vision with which ISBF was even founded. So coming to ISBF, the third vital part of this amazing and unique ecosystem, ISBF plays the role of the quintessential college here. In technical terms, it is a recognized teaching center or teaching institution of University of London and LSE, and is responsible for everything that a college typically does in a traditional university setup, which is teaching the programs, conducting regular formative assessments, offering co-curricular and extracurricular opportunities, campus life, hostel facilities, and everything in between. As you would expect from that analogy, every ISBF student is a full-fledged University of London student. They receive a student ID card from UOL. They have access to all of their rich learning resources, which includes one of the world's largest online libraries and a very exciting virtual learning environment curated and updated regularly by LSE academics. In fact, which also offers the wonderful opportunity to interact with students from 30 to 40 other countries around the world who are pursuing the same courses. Students are also invited by UOL to graduate in London at the end of the program in one of the world's largest and most prestigious graduation ceremonies, presided over by Princess Anne, the Chancellor of University of London. And all graduates also enjoy alumni status with University of London, along with its associated benefits for life. Now, having discussed the structure of these programs, let us dive a little deeper into their content. The first and foremost thing here is, and I do believe this bears reiteration even if I am repeating myself, that the academic direction from some of the world's leading academic departments at LSE makes this one of the richest undergraduate curricula globally in the areas of economics, management and finance, and in fact puts it head and shoulders above most domestic Indian offerings at present. In fact, as I said before, this is precisely the gap that ISBF was set up to try and bridge. Now, I would go on to use 2 specific adjectives to describe these curricula. The first is cutting edge, which implies that the syllabi for the numerous courses or subjects on these programs are kept up to date by the world-leading researchers in LSE's academic departments responsible for these programs. And also that the students therefore have access to the latest and most relevant research, case studies and examples from all over the world through their curriculum. The second adjective I want to use is application oriented. In fact, this adjective is almost a philosophy when it comes to the curriculum designed by LSE and permeates all the way down to the methods we must adopt in day-to-day classroom teaching at ISBF. This emanates from LSE's motto, Rerum cognoscere causas, or Latin for understanding the causes of things. Since these things for social scientists are everyday phenomena around us, understanding them requires not just in-depth command over theoretical concepts, but mastery over the application of these concepts in analyzing real-world events. And that is why what starts with even first-year course examinations testing students on their ability to apply their knowledge to new and unfamiliar situations culminates in reverse chronological order from the very first class at the start of each academic session in a spirit of inquiry and an emphasis on discussion and debate day in and day out in class at ISBF. I kid you not, in my decade or so at ISBF now, I have never ever had to ask a student to rote learn or memorize even a line of the syllabus. And this is not credit to me, but to LSE for designing its exams consistent with its philosophy that it is not teaching economics, management and finance so much as it is training students to become successful economists, managers or finance professionals. In fact, these are precisely the kind of educational attributes outlined in the roadmap for the future laid down by our own National Education Policy or NEP 2020. Over a century after UOL and LSE incorporated them into their programs, and more than a decade and a half since we at ISBF first had the opportunity to imbibe these in our graduates. These attributes are backed up by consistent work by ISBF students as well as faculty members who provide the scaffolding and support necessary to ensure a smooth and continuous journey towards mastering this world-leading curriculum. Whether offline or online when the situation demands, ISBF's distinguished faculty group with years of extensive pedagogical training from LSE and UOL behind them have continuously introspected, collaborated and innovated to come up with effective learning methods, be they flipped classrooms, interdisciplinary projects or permanent learning groups to name some. Coupled with co-curricular opportunities such as guest lectures, software training workshops, abridged courses and a plethora of extracurricular activities, MUNs, college fests, all organized through numerous student societies, the sustained excellence that ISBF's teaching and learning environment has spawned over the last decade is really what has led to ISBF enjoying pride of place, as I said earlier, in the highest echelons of UOL and LSE's teaching institutions around the world. You're probably wondering by now, where does or can all of this lead students or graduates to? Now, thankfully, as you would expect, this unique higher education opportunity does indeed open up a world of unique possibilities that may otherwise not typically be available to Indian undergraduate students. First, there is the platform to transfer into second year at a leading foreign university. Transfers are a well-established global process, especially in the UK and the US, but seats can be limited and can vary by institution and department every year. That said, for any seats that are available, whether at LSE itself or at eminent institutions such as King's College London, Universities of Bath, Bristol, Edinburgh, St Andrews in the UK, University of British Columbia in Canada, Carnegie Mellon in the US, Hong Kong University, etc. These are all places that ISBF students have demonstrated an extremely strong track record of successfully obtaining offers to occupy these seats that may be available. And this is because having first year of an LSE Economics, Management or Finance undergraduate program behind them convinces almost any other institution of their ability to cope successfully with their second year and thereafter. For exactly the same reason, ISBF students enjoy a distinct and a substantial edge when applying for top postgraduate programs abroad. Because the LSE-led undergraduate programs prepare them to not just get into, but also do exceedingly well on practically any master's or MBA program in the world. That is why graduates have received offers to study at places like Harvard, Oxford, LSE every year, including 6 in one batch alone last year, NYU, Columbia, Yale, NUS. It's a long list of practically every top 50 university in the world. And it is important to add here for complete context that at LSE, for instance, and similarly at other top UK colleges, an ISBF graduate being a UK graduate has the opportunity to be accepted into a one-year master's program, where most Indian graduates have to settle for 2-year routes for flagship programs. For students looking to progress onto a master's within India, there is the precedent of their seniors having gone on again to the top-ranked postgraduate programs in economics, management and finance, whether at a Delhi School of Economics or a Madras School of Economics or an Indian Statistical Institute or ISI for economics, or to the IIMs, Indian Institutes of Management, Indian School of Business or ISB or XLRI or other similar top-ranked postgraduate management and finance institutions. At the same time, it must be noted that the UL degree does not come under the purview of the University Grants Commission or UGC, and therefore students who wish to keep open every postgraduate option in India or to progress to public sector employment through competitive examinations are advised, as 10 to 15% of our students currently do, to pursue a parallel distance learning program from an open university at very little additional effort and cost. For those that are looking to go on to work in the private sector, whether in India or abroad, a dedicated career services division works to upskill them from early on in their program, facilitate internship opportunities, and eventually assist students in securing a full-time job offer upon graduating. The careers students have charted range from research, whether financial, economic or market research, actuarial science, data science, policy making, development sector work with UN agencies and the likes of Asian Development Bank, to careers in investment banking, wealth management, consulting, marketing, operations, human resource, and of course, to becoming successful entrepreneurs, a journey that often starts very early in college. And early in their careers, the kind of firms students have had the opportunity to go on to work for include leading multinationals like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, McKinsey & Company, Bain & Company, Bloomberg, Ernst & Young, KPMG and Deloitte, and also all the way to exciting startups like Zomato, Oyo Rooms and several others. Students have also had the opportunity to work overseas for a year with the likes of HSBC New York, Citibank London and UBS London. Wherever they have gone, based on what we have heard from them at various stages of their journey, our alumni as well as their recruiters tell us that the substance of their LSE-led undergraduate education has given ISBF students the necessary foundation and tools to succeed and to rise through the ranks more quickly than most others. So finally, coming to a quick overview of our admission process, more details of which are of course always available on our website. The most important thing to note here is that we follow, like the UK, a rolling admission system and policy. This means that all other things equal, applying early gives you the best possible chance to secure a place at ISBF, to secure a place on a program of your choice, and to secure and maximize any scholarship assistance that you are able to receive. There is typically at least one admission round before the Indian board examinations and at least one after it. Having said that, our undergraduate intake is capped at 120 students currently, and therefore applications are closed once seats are filled. The other side of the coin, that is rolling admissions, which is equally important to note, is that every round and set of admission process comes with its associated dates and deadlines, and in particular the deadline by which to make a decision on the offer of admission that any student would aim to receive. So students should typically choose a round where they are A, well prepared to succeed at the admission process, and I'll come to that in a minute, and B, to take a final decision on the offer of admission, whatever it may be. So coming finally then on to the admission process. Currently, this is a simple 3-step process. You fill an online application, you appear for the IMET, ISBF's undergraduate entrance test, and then, if shortlisted, you appear for a personal interview or PI. Note that those obtaining a score around the 90th percentile on SAT or the Pearson undergraduate entrance exam receive an exemption from appearing for IMET at present. Specifics around this should always be looked up on the ISBF website. the selection criteria is weighted 50, 30, 20, i.e. 50% weight is currently given to the IMET, 30% to the interview, and 20% to the Class 12 board exam scores if available in a particular round. Detailed and updated guidance related to the substance of the test and the PI, as well as all other details relevant to our admission process for a particular year, will always be available on our website, and we always recommend going by this first-hand information. And of course, if you have any queries, you're always welcome to reach out to our undergraduate admissions team, whose contact details are also available on our website. All the best.